I don't know. I was. Yeah, I think it's an interesting question about maybe the performative aspects of revolution. That that maybe that is what the right wing have taken over, and that the left has become entrenched in a sort of an obsession with the political. Through the development of identity politics, that everything has become political, maybe, and that's, I don't know. It's just thinking in response to what you said, but and whether that is something that the right wing picked up on, because I think that there is a sense that Thatcher. Of course, she would never have thought of herself as a revolutionary, but she was picking up on those situationist ideas, the provoking situations. The miners' strike in 1984 was very much government-inspired to destroy the workers' movement. And it was a sort of a revolutionary strategy in a sense. So there is that.
But the miners took the bait.
Yeah.
The miners took the bait. I mean, I think, Michael, the thing there is that...
Well, they took the bait, and it was... The two came together.
Correct.
Scargill was a sort of Stalinist, very much a
Stalinist. But to
Stalinist.
widen it out a bit, that one of my cultural heroes is the philosopher Richard Wollheim, who ended his life teaching at Berkeley, and there was something that Wollheim wrote that just stopped me straight when I completely changed my way of thinking about the avant-garde, and this relates to what you're saying. Wollheim, who was a lifelong socialist, there is no logical relationship between a particular art and politics. There's no logical, there are sociological relationships, there's psychological relationships, all kinds of, but there is no logical relationship, right? We all know that Cézanne was a perfect reactionary in his cultural and political views, but that's not how he was interpreted in the art sphere. And not long after I encountered this passage in Wollheim, I was rereading the political position of Surrealism, one of the great talks that Breton gave in the mid-30s, the key moment of anti-fascist activity. And he poses the question, is there or is there not a relationship between being a surrealist and the work that surrealists create, the artwork that surrealists, you're specifically talking about the surrealist object. And he even says, one would like there to be a ticket that one could put on and say, surrealist object, and only surrealists could make this. But of course, no sooner does he pose the question, and he says, alas, there is not. Alas, there is not. And so that now means that any strategy, what is it that Fidel Castro said, there's no copyright on good ideas, because Cuba refuses to acknowledge the existence of copyright, okay? There's no copyright on good ideas. So therefore, any strategy that proves effective can be adopted by others, because that strategy is not intrinsically anything, right? So I think it is correct to say that strategies that were worked out by the left have migrated to the right. And we're kind of distressed that because we haven't developed new strategies that can command the imagination in the same way. Penelope.
Well, I'd like to add here that the problem of work is one of the main problems here, and has been, and it's one of the reasons there hasn't been any successful revolution.
Yes.
Because, in fact, the cyber revolution is greater than the industrial revolution.
Absolutely.
People used the opportunity of Detroit militancy and the unions and such to move their plants to the south, to totally modernize them, to get rid of workers. In some cases, the auto plants are all automated. They're run by 4 people. So, this has really been a shock to people who expected a job for 20 years, much less a lifetime. And so the right wing has taken the initiative. They understand this better than the working class, to exploit that new technology. And I don't really know how we are going to use that ourselves. If you look at the cultural things, you see that there is a culture of revolt. There's always movies about revolt and successful revolt and everything. It appeals to the people, but they don't really know how they can do it in the workplace. The workplace is not an organizational place anymore.
No.
And cultural revolution is going to come, but who knows how?
Well, maybe we have to quit because we do want to have some lunch, but maybe I will suggest that it's in the slogan, Ne travaillez jamais, or never work, which was operative, obviously, and a very powerful statement in '68, and which I think can also be elaborated through Marcuse and through the assertion of pleasure.
And Ne travaillez jamais, and what Penrose is talking about, Abigail, goes to the obsolescence of psychoanalysis. Well, the title is an allusion to, I think, the greatest writer on technology in the 20th century, Gunther Anders, whose book on technology was called The Obsolescence of Man. Right? That's we are being made obsolete, is the challenge.
Thank you for this.